On the 24th of May 2012, Avio News was in Brussels to attend a press conference organised by the Association of European Airlines. Of critical importance for the 10 airline CEOs present was finding a solution for the looming trade war due to European emissions trading legislation. The introduction of a single European sky despite negative union lobbying, and an intelligent approach towards commercially viable regulation and infrastructure planning. The airline CEOs present were Peter Davies from Air Malta, Andrea Ragnetti from Alitalia, Willie Walsh from the International Airlines Group, Peter Hartmann from KLM, Bernard Gustin from Brussels Airlines, Christoph Franz, Lufthansa, Steve Ridgway from Virgin Atlantic, Mika Vekvilainen from Finnair, Martin Isler from Luxair, and Nikki Terzaki from TNT. The order of the day was comprehensively illustrated by the AEA chairman, Mr. Bernard Gustin.
One of these regulations, by the way, that is going completely against what's happening on a global basis, recognizing that the airline industry is a global industry, is ETS. It's high time we find a global solution for ETS.
Mr. Christoph Franz of Lufthansa had this to say about one of the hottest topics of the meeting, the Single European Sky Initiative.
I was a young boy. I always imagined an aircraft is taking off and then heading directly to the airport where it wants to go. But when you're working in the industry, you have to learn that this is simply not true, that there are airways in the sky, predefined airways. And I think to understand it is the most simple way to do it is comparing to drive on a highway or on a rambling country road. And what we are doing at this point in time, we are driving here or flying on a rambling country road. Long routes, limited capacity in these routes. We have to make detours, we have waiting loops to fly, we have traffic jams, and this is all creating unnecessary emissions and delays, and not to forget unnecessary noise. For passengers, we are talking about really hundreds of hours every day, which are due to these unnecessary delays. And all these delays are basically created by the way how we are organizing the airspace traditionally. We have to hand over the aircraft from one air traffic controller to the next one, and this is happening for each single flight, each single day. 16 million tons of carbon dioxide are emitted too much. This is 12% of all European airlines' emissions. And isn't that a great opportunity? Let's look at this from a positive perspective. Here we really have something what we can easily improve. It's not something which is in theory, we really can do this. It's just the willingness to implement integrated airspace blocks, and then we are capable not only of saving these 16 million tons of carbon dioxide, but this is also a dramatical savings with regard to financial terms. We're talking about 3.7 billion euros worth of fuel which we could save, and an additional 5 billion which is including the inefficiencies, delays, etc., which are created by the existing situation.
But without any doubt, the topic that everyone was focused on was global versus European carbon trading initiatives. Both Peter Hartmann from KLM and Willie Walsh from International Airlines Group expressed strong views.
ICAO is already working for a long time and many years, supported by IATA, and it is a very close cooperation. But if you are not receptive and not willing to talk, that was exactly what the chairman just explained, and you say, no, I develop my own system and wait and see where I'm coming up, then it might be a little bit too late in the whole process. But it is not only Europe that has a sharp eye for the problems we have in the environment.
Finally, IAG CEO Willie Walsh eloquently sums up the ETS controversy between the airline industry and European Parliament officials, Vice President Siim Kallas and President José Manuel Barroso.
We as an industry have set ourselves challenging goals. We recognise that we need to continue to make advances in our environmental performance, and collectively we are spending billions of euros investing in new aircraft to improve our fuel and carbon efficiency. This morning with Vice President Kallas, I expressed to him the frustration and indeed the anger that exists within the industry to what many people believe has been an arrogant approach by the Commission in the application of the EU's rules to all airlines and all countries across the world. We previously cautioned President Barroso that this approach risked creating a trade war at a time when Europe is desperate to generate growth. The Commission will counter this position by pointing out that 99% of airlines have complied with their requirements. But you should not confuse compliance with agreement. As the map that you see on the chart here shows, there is widespread opposition to the application of the EU emissions trading scheme on a global basis. We've had formal opposition from many countries, and indeed several countries have indicated that they will take retaliation against Europe as a result of this initiative. Europe cannot afford a trade war at a time like this. We believe the Commission needs to move quickly to diffuse the tensions that exist and the tensions that are rising rapidly on a daily